Coming up on Global Business, Chinese Premier Li Qiang calls for further cooperation between China and Germany during his first European tour since taking office. China's central bank on Tuesday cut its benchmark 1-year and 5-year loan prime rates by 10 basis points. The 19th China International Cartoon and Animation Festival kicks off in Hangzhou. From CGTN headquarters in Beijing, this is Global Business. I'm Michelle Vandenberg. Chinese Premier Li Qiang is on a visit to Germany, his first overseas trip since taking office in March. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz accompanied Li Qiang to review the honor guard during the welcome ceremony. Premier Li has proposed tackling climate change as one of the guiding principles for China-Germany cooperation in the future while meeting with Scholz. Li says the two countries should promote cooperation in green technology and industry and explore the establishment of a rational and orderly division of labor in the green energy industry chain. Scholz says Germany is willing to further strengthen exchanges and deepen mutually beneficial cooperation with China. He says Germany rejects all forms of decoupling and de-risking is not desanitization. Now for the latest on the media briefing held by Chinese Premier Li Qiang and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, let's cross to Peter Oliver in Berlin. Hi there again, Peter. So first, can you tell us the main points of the media briefing held by Chinese Premier Li and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz?
Well, they were a little late coming to us, in fact. It seems like they decided they were going to stay in this meeting of the two governments for a little longer than we had expected. What we did get from the two was that Olaf Scholz, the German Chancellor, saying that Germany and China had agreed what he called a climate and transformation dialogue. He said that he'd also wanted China to put pressure upon Russia to bring about an end to the conflict in Ukraine. He said also that there should be more direct meetings between China and Russia. It does seem like both sides had taken a lot from these direct meetings and they want to see more of these going forward. What we heard from Li Qiang, the Chinese Premier, was a little bit of a similar message when it came to the benefits of having these face-to-face conversations. This wasn't just between the Chancellor and the Chinese Premier. This was also between several members of the Chinese and German cabinet as well. And what we heard from Li Qiang was saying that China is willing to take relations with Germany to a new level. He said he wants to vigorously enhance facilitation, easy for me to say, of people-to-people exchange. Basically take from that, we want to see more of your people in China and we want to see more of our people in Germany to make sure that that cooperation is done on that person-to-person basis.
Yeah, so more communications and more people-to-people exchanges. Also, what is on Li Qiang's agenda for the rest of his European trip?
Yeah, he's got a lot still to do here in Germany. I mean, he's not just staying here in Germany, but there's a lot to do before he moves on. Later, he'll be heading over to what's called the Sino-German Economic and Technological Cooperation Forum. It is quite a mouthful, but it is a grouping of very important business leaders here in Berlin. And the leaders, that's Scholz and Premier Li, will be addressing the closing ceremony of that forum. Particularly pay attention to what they have to say about cooperation on green tech. That is what the closing ceremony is all about. It is one of those areas that China and Germany have said they can work very closely on. After that, Premier Li hopping on a plane off down to Munich, where he'll be meeting with the CEOs of some of Germany's blue chip businesses. You're looking at your Bayers, your BASFs, your BMWs, your Volkswagens, those companies that have huge multi-billion-dollar investments in China. He'll be meeting with those. Then on Wednesday, he'll be heading off to France. So plenty to do in Germany, but he's also got another stop in Europe before he heads home to China.
All right, great. Thank you so much for the update. Peter Oliver for us in Berlin. two-way investment between China and Germany also maintained strong momentum last year. According to official data from China, German companies invested nearly 2.6 billion US dollars into the Chinese market in 2022. That was up more than 50% compared with the previous year. Meanwhile, Chinese investment in Germany topped $1.6 billion, basically the same as the year before. However, the number of merger and acquisitions as well as other investment deals by Chinese companies continue to fall. Some analysts have attributed to geopolitical tensions and protectionism from the U.S. that has stirred up the global supply chain. Now, for more insights on bilateral cooperation between China and Germany and potential outcomes from Chinese Premier Li Qiang's visit to Berlin, we're joined by Liu Zhiqin, a senior fellow at the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies of Renmin University of China. Thank you so much, Professor Liu, for joining us. First, can you give us an overview of the results achieved by the meeting between the Chinese and German delegations today?
I should say that the great achievements have been already made by the first day trip of Premier Li Qiang visiting Germany. As we know that Germany is the major trading partner of China in Europe. So this visit plays a very important role and sends a significant signal to the whole world. Also, for the Chinese companies are encouraged to have more business and cooperations there. I think the major achievement they have made the bilateral talks in 3 points. First is both sides have reached consensus that to have direct dialogue and close cooperation in trading and economic issues, but also in the political or geopolitical conflicts issues should be held in dialogues. This is quite important principle for both sides. And the second point is that the mutual trust have been again enhanced by such a visit. From both sides, as we know, last year the German Chancellor visited China, also got the first-hand information about China. Nowadays, the Chinese Premier pay a return visit to Germany. From both sides, they got to know each other in private level. So this is very important to build up a personal mutual trust. And the third is very important to build up and enhance this mutual confidence in the future. For they shared opinions and shared future in cooperation in the economic issues, especially in international matters that both sides have agreed to have a direct dialogue and make joint efforts to make the global community more peaceful, more harmonious.
Yes, speaking of international issues, a lot of the focus has been on green development, green tech, green finance. What are the potential opportunities for cooperation between China and Germany in this front?
I should say that there are really great the potential from both sides to have such cooperations in the green technology and the green economy. As I understood because I visited Germany early in 1980s, last century. So we got to know at that time that Germany is one of the countries who had paid great attention to green development at that time. So many people have so-called green activities. So we are deeply impressed by technology innovation. As we know, Germany is also a very famous and advancing country in the innovation technically and also from manufacturing, including the environmental protection, as where many people have the deeply impression that how different that environment in German or in German countryside. So in this way that there are many cooperations fields, for instance, climate change and also for water reservation and also from the earth reservation and pollution elimination. From these machineries and technologies, even know-how or talented people to be trained. Germany has really a very good experience here. So China has really very good cooperation in the past 40 years, not only in the manufacturing, but also from green finance and green technologies. We learned from each other. We think that there are many points that could be enhanced and further developed for the benefits of both countries and both economies.
On top of green technology, what other technology and high-end manufacturing sectors can the two countries cooperate on? And what can we do to also continue to boost investment and trade between the two sides?
As we know that Germany is an advancing nation and a country that in innovation, especially in AI, automobile, for instance, and there's auto navigation for all these different cars. As we know, we visited Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, and the major companies that we have very close, greater cooperations, mutual benefits from each other, and but the focus is that both sides should further develop their cooperations in the people-to-people exchange, especially in the green technology and also AI technology. At the moment, the AI technology we learned from each other, not only from the driving, but also from the environment protection or the environment surveillance, for instance. Although in the manufacturing sections, from both sides, we have so many things that to have cooperation. Of course, the other point I should mention here is Germany is very famous, very advancing in space industry, especially in Airbus also. So in this way that we have so good cooperations in the high technology, high-end products cooperation. So Germany is a good market for China, and China also is a very potential and optimistic market for German products. This is always that has been already proved by the facts and the business.
Yeah, so more people-to-people exchange and a lot of cooperation in the AI. Thank you so much for your insights. Really appreciate your time. Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies at Renmin University of China. You're watching Global Business, still to come. China's central bank on Tuesday cuts its benchmark 1-year and 5-year loan prime rates by 10 basis points.
From the 1,035-kilometer railway linking China to Laos, facilitating connectivity and boosting economic growth in the landlocked Southeast Asian country, to the joint China-Saudi Arabia photovoltaic project to harness renewable energy in the oil-dependent kingdom. The Belt and Road Initiative has come a long way since it was first proposed in 2013, complementing the development strategies of partner countries and building on their existing strength.
开创合作共赢的新模式。
The Belt and Road Initiative, linking the world in the pursuit of common prosperity for humanity.
China's central bank on Tuesday cut the market-based benchmark 1-year loan prime rate, or LPR, to 3.55%, down from 3.65%. The 5-year loan prime rate was lowered by also 10 basis points to 4.2%. The rate cuts are in line with market expectations. Analysts say the cuts should offer some support to economic activity. This follows the State Council's meeting last week to discuss more economic growth policies. The Bank of Shanghai this week officially launched the city's first green and inclusive guaranteed loan product, at the same time jointly setting up a green finance lab to help small, medium, and micro enterprises transform into green and low carbon companies. Zhang Shixuan reports.
The loans are aimed at smaller firms in the city and at those which are approved to trade carbon assets.
For small and medium-sized enterprises, we can use guarantees to make it easier for them to get loans. It is a little difficult to account for a company's inclusive green energy efficiency, and we can provide targeted support for them.
The loan product is based on assets guaranteed by government policies, so as to enhance the creditworthiness of carbon asset holders, while at the same time protecting the interests of financial institutions and improving the liquidity of carbon assets. The aim of it all is to make it easier to develop and trade carbon credits.
We don't have any collateral, it's completely a credit. We have to use the loans to make some technological improvements in carbon reduction and control, and install some new energy-saving equipment.
A green financial lab has also been established for growing and innovative enterprises in green and low-carbon fields, such as new green materials, clean energy, new energy vehicles, hydrogen energy, and energy storage. Experts say that China has plenty of capacity for financing based on carbon assets.
The carbon allowance trading, we're seeing the price has gone up. So 10 years ago, 2013, in China is 60 renminbi per ton. 2023, 10 years later, is 120. You can actually do it here in China. You can gradually recover those investments. So if you look at Tesla's annual reports, 2/3 of their income is actually from carbon allowance trading. Not a lot of the assets owner realize that there is an asset's value they can improve by investing in ESG or carbon reduction.
As of the end of last year, the balance of green finance loans at the Bank of Shanghai topped more than 65 billion yuan, an increase of more than 110% during the year. Zhang Shixuan, ICS for CGTN, Shanghai.
The Global Development Initiative has made positive progress since it was proposed less than 2 years ago. According to a report released by the Center for International Knowledge on Development on Tuesday, the initiative has gained support from nearly 70 countries so far and has effectively responded to global challenges and the needs of all countries. Meanwhile, practical cooperation projects have gradually come to results over the past 2 years. Looking forward, the report said the initiative should continue to give full play to its role as an accelerator of the implementation for the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. This year's 14th annual meeting for the new champions, also known as the Summer Davos, will be held in Tianjin from June 27th to 29th. During a media briefing earlier today, forum officials highlighted key aspects of the upcoming conference. Chinese Premier Li Qiang will deliver a keynote speech on June 27th under the theme Entrepreneurs, a driver of the world economy. Over 1,500 representatives from various backgrounds are expected to be in attendance.
The core aim of the upcoming Summer Davos Forum in Tianjin is to promote innovation and entrepreneurship on the global scale, with a specific focus on Asia. The theme for this year's meeting is centered around entrepreneurship and its role in driving economic growth and sustainable development. Through this event, attendees will have the opportunity to gain insights into the current economic landscape in China and around the world.
This year's edition of the forum marks the first in-person gathering since the COVID-19 pandemic, and as such, there is a high level of anticipation surrounding the event. The Tianjin municipal government took measures by establishing 4 major units across 3 different venues, ensuring that preparations have been executed smoothly and with an ordered approach. As a result, the preparatory work for the Tianjin segment of the event is complete and ready for the forum.
Now let's take a look at some corporate news that we're tracking at this hour. Alibaba CEO and Chairman Daniel Zhang is stepping down after heading the e-commerce giant for 8 years. The personnel shakeup comes as Alibaba is moving ahead with plans to split into 6 business units. South Korea's Hyundai Motor has unveiled a new investment plan with 1/3 of funding allocated to electric vehicles. Singapore-based ride-hailing and food delivery company Grab might soon announce its biggest job cuts since the pandemic. As Bloomberg reports, that means the company could let go over 5% of its 12,000 staff. You're watching Global Business, still to come. The 19th China International Cartoon and Animation Festival kicks off in Hangzhou.
The world economy as we know it is about to change. Global business reports highlight emerging markets, developing countries, and dynamic sectors worldwide. We feature top analysts and newsmakers to provide perspectives on every facet of business. From an on-the-ground perspective, we provide you with balanced and objective assessments. Fast, sharp, and insightful. Global business. Only on CGTN.
The 19th China International Cartoon and Animation Festival has kicked off in Hangzhou. Our reporter Liu Sirui has more.
The 19th China International Cartoon and Animation Festival is underway. The love of manga, animation, and game is now in the air. For more on the festivities, follow my journey and let's get the party started.
I like the expo very much. I hope it can be held every week.
For the face of the two dimensions, my faith deserves to be known by more people.
Kakamine twins Vocaloid should be known by more.
I love all the romance and unbreakable friendship in the two-dimension world.
Industry insiders estimate China's market for animation industry reached 49 billion RMB in 2022. The magnetic power to young people of the animation and related industry is creating new business opportunities.
The 2023 Asian Games is 2 months ahead, and this time we brought our mascots and other cultural products to promote the Asian Games. We hope more people will know the games and support our Chinese athletes.
Foreign companies also finding it a chance to reinforce their culture among the young Chinese.
In the world of animation, I just learned that these characters are considered the same lives as human beings. For example, Hello Kitty is not a cat. She is a girl from London. And this enamel is not a dog. He is a boy from Cloud.
This park has greatly improved the awareness of our brand for people who come here. This exhibition can actually better promote the development of Chinese animation industry.
Chinese officials also say the industry is expected to build further bridges and boost cohesion across different cultures. The Chinese animation industry is also playing a vital role in reinforcing the cultural confidence of the Chinese people. Liu Sirui, CGTN, Hangzhou.
China's esports industry has been steadily gaining momentum in recent years with a growth in popularity and revenue. In 2022, the revenue of the country's esports industry was about 145 billion yuan or $20 billion. Esports game revenue was nearly 118 billion yuan, accounting for 81%. In addition, the total revenue of esports live broadcasting, event activities, club operations, and other amounted to 27 billion yuan. Meanwhile, the number of esports users reached about 490 million, and 108 esports events were held throughout the year. Since 2022, support for the industry has continued to increase across the country, including the landing of major esports events, the construction of esports venues, and the cultivation of esports talents. This year marks a major breakthrough for esports as it will be officially recognized and showcased as a medal sport in the upcoming 2023 Asian Games. This development is expected to deepen China's esports presence in the international market.
The inclusion of esports as an official event in China has generated significant international interest in the country's esports industry. Consulting company Nico Partner forecasts that China's games market is expected to reach $57 billion by 2027. An expert said China's competitive gaming scene has certain advantages, particularly in the self-development and standardization of esports events.
In recent years, domestically developed esports products have been gaining popularity in overseas markets. In addition, China has established a standardized and systematic approach, surpassing similar efforts made in Europe and America. This has promoted many European and American esports platforms to adopt China's esports model for their development. Meanwhile, the rapid growth of China's mobile esports has significantly increased its presence in the global esports industry.
At the same time, Chinese game companies are expanding their reach globally, accounting for 47% of mobile games revenue worldwide. In March, one of the most popular mobile games, Honor of Kings, debuted in Brazil. It will be a competition event later this year at the Hangzhou Games.
The long-term growth potential of the Brazil market when it comes to the multiplayer online battle arena category is very attractive. There are cultural differences between different countries, but we hope to bring the Honor of Kings culture to the public in a local way, including language translation, to meet the needs of the local market.
Asia's largest game show, China Joy, will return to Shanghai in July, with over 500 exhibitors and diverse AI and esports events. It will discuss global esports industry development and announce key events for next year.
The official recognition of esports in major international events will raise public awareness of the industry. Today, esports is no longer limited to just online gaming. It covers a diverse range of modes, such as virtual sports, tech sports, and robotics.
The upcoming games will further boost the development of esports by helping create a more structured and standardized approach to the industry. Zhu said that dozens of Chinese universities now have esports major courses to develop talents. With these sportive policies and events, China's esports industry is expected to reach an even more professional stage. Hu Bianyi, Li Xiaoyao, CGTN.
And that will do it for this edition of Global Business here on CGTN. I'm Michelle Vandenberg in Beijing. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.